Hello Internetings, my name is Josh, aka Ultra Player, welcoming you to DBL D-League week number 5, I believe. Your New York Metagross did not have a battle last week. For those wondering why, we did get a forfeit win because I believe St. Louis Talonflames, disappeared. I requested them on Twitter 3 times, when you want to battle, and he never responded. So, we got a forfeit win for that. But, moving on, we do have a new challenger approaching. We have Mitch Master and the Carolina Crobats as our next opponent. He is currently, I think, 3-1 in the other division, rocking a very scary team. He has had a couple forfeit wins as well against the Infernapes and the Talonflames, I believe. So, Talonflames are actually no longer with the league. They were kicked out for inactivity and replaced by someone. I don't remember who yet, but moving on. God, I have not sat in this chair. I have not recorded in a while. But I'm doing a lot of recording today, so. We have a team to go over for that week. We are the New York Metagross. I did not mention that. And his team, the Carolina Crobats, shall appear below me now. First thing he has is a Landorus Therian. Scary, scary mon. Being able to rock all kinds of set. He can run Dual Dance. He can run Earthplate. He can run Choice Scarf, Choice Band. He can run Life Orb Offensive. He can run Specially Offensive with a 105 base special attack. He can run Defensive with Rocky Helmet. Stealth Rock Lead with Explosion. All kinds of stuff. Luckily, he is not his Z move mon, or we would be in a lot of trouble. He has a Mega Pinsir. Another reason why I'm really glad he does not have Landorus Therian as his Z move mon, because Flying Span would kill me. Very scary mon. Very few counters in the game. I mean, you have Zapdos, you have bulky electric types in general, and that's about it. Except for, our Skarmory. It usually runs SD, has good coverage moves and knockoff, Earthquake, Close Combat, Stone Edge, Bug Stab. Not the biggest issue, but I do have a bunch of ways to handle it. Well, it is a big issue, but I have ways to handle it. Alolan Ninetales. Screens are kind of going to be something I'm worried about during this match. For once, I'm actually recording the Teambuilder before I have the video or the battle, so I don't know what actually happens. But I can definitely see Aurora Veil being kind of an issue, making his team that much bulkier. He has a pretty bulky team that can kind of take hits from mine, but with that Aurora Veil, and he's just gonna not have any trouble whatsoever. Typically runs, it has access to Freeze Drive for my Vaporeon, so that's kind of an issue. It has Ice Beam, it has Moonblast, etc., etc. Typically runs Light Clay, no boosting at him, and his outspeeds most of my team. Celebi, an issue, big issue. Grass Psychic type can do so much. So much. It can run SD, it can run Nasty Plot, it can run Calm Mind, it can run Baton Pass, it can run Stealth Rocks, it can run Defensive, it can run Life Orb, Choice Scarf, Choice Band, Choice Specs, Assault Vest, whatever you need it to do. And that natural cure ability makes it very hard to take down. Typically, something like that, if I have my Vaporeon, it can switch in and get Scald Burn, and then it's a lot easier to take down. But with natural cure, it's able to switch out and get rid of that burn, get rid of a toxic. So, that's an issue. Kind of has a good matchup against my team, depending on the coverage he brings, depending on what set he brings. If he's defensive with Stealth Rocks, that is so easy to handle. I don't have to worry about him setting up Nasty Plots. But I fully do expect a Nasty Plot set with Gauge Range, Psyshock, or Psychic, and Shadow Ball. So, he has a Porygon 2. It's one of his 2 Z-Mons, which is very interesting. I don't think Porygon 2 is a good Z-Mon, just because it really, really likes the Eviolite, but and C conversion's banned anyway, so really interesting him having that Z move mon. Very bulky though, can take hits from a lot of my big hitters. If it wasn't for that, I'm pretty sure he'd have a really, really tough time, but that Porygon 2 is going to be his crutch mon. Has good coverage, has good statuses, can Toxic, can Thunder Wave, can recover spam. Very bulky and can basically handle most things on my team, barring stuff like my Hitmonlee, as long as he has that Eviolite. Comfey is an interesting mon. If he's able to weaken my Skarmory, then Comfey can actually like rip through me somehow, because it has the right bulk to take on my hits, and I'm not bringing... Spoiler alert, I'm not bringing my Hitmonlee this time, and I can't just Life Orb, Poison Jab, and blow him away. But he could priority Draining Kiss me anyway. With that Triage ability, all healing moves, such as Synthesis, such as Draining Kiss, get a +3 priority for him, and that's really threatening, because he doesn't need speed, then, to take down my Hydreigon. He doesn't need speed to Draining Kiss my Hitmonlee. Like, it gave me a threat, especially since he has Calm Mind, he has Wish, he has Protect, he has Aromatherapy, and that Draining Kiss. He has a few good coverage moves, so he can run Life Orb, Calm Mind. I'm tired. Basically a giant issue. He has a Rotom Heat, one of his few Fairy Resists, one of his few Sylveon switch-ins. Unfortunately, he does not have good recovery outside of Pain Split and Rest. Fire Electric type, weak to Stealth Rock, something I plan on taking advantage of. Can Volt Switch around my team, but I mean, I have Marowak, so I don't know how likely he is to keep clicking Volt Switch. I highly expect him to have like Shadow Ball or something, or Dark Pulse. Pokemon can take on my Sylveon is basically what I think he'll use it for. He has a Sock, as is other Z-Movemon, and this is a good Z-Movemon. A lot of people sleep on Sock, but it has 125 base attack. Combined with Z-Move all-out pummeling, that is a threat. Big threat. Highly expected to come. Highly expected to get a kill. And if I'm going to lose, it's going to be to Sock, because I don't have the best counters to it. It's just going to be about pivoting, burning that Z-Crystal if he's using it immediately, and then just beating it like that. If he's banded, that's a whole different kind of issue. But yeah, that's the biggest threat he has towards my team. He has an Alomomola. The fish. We know the fish well. It's fat, it passes wishes, it scolds, it is very weak, can knock off, can toxic, can be fat. That's what it's good at. Unfortunately, it's not as good as Celebi, in my opinion, against my team, just because he doesn't have Natural Cure. If he did, then... But, moving on. Garbodor. Another Fairy Resist. Another really good mon, actually. I mean, I can expect him to bring it just because it walls my Serena. It can take hits from my Hitmonlee. It can take hits from my Sylveon, barring a Psyshock. And it can set up hazards against me, which I'm scared of. So there's that. It has decent coverage. It has Aftermath. It has... its main kick is being able to set up spikes and being bulky. It does have access to some coverage moves such as Drain Punch and Earthquake, but its main thing is just being able to set up spikes. Although it's walled by my Skarmory, so I don't really know how good it's going to do this match. And finally, he has a Mismagius, which could make an appearance. I mean, it does have decent coverage, and a Life Orb set could be of some use, but I do have counters to it. It has great coverage and Mystical Fire. It has Energy Ball. It has Dark Pulse, which you don't ever need. It has Dazzling Gleam. It has Thunderbolt. It can Nasty Plot. It can Calm Mind. It can Taunt, Hex, Will-O-Wisp. All kinds of stuff. So, things about his team. It's pretty slow. I mean, he does have some fast threats, like Mega Pinsir or Mismagius hit the 105 base speed. He has Comfey at 100 as well as Celebi. But his fastest mon is the Alolan Ninetales, which isn't much of an offensive threat. So, one, I do expect him to bring a Scarf User to hit stuff like my Dugtrio, to be able to outspeed stuff like my Swallow. 2, he has no hazard removal. No hazard removal. So, typically that means I'm going to use it. I'm going to abuse that and set up spikes, but unfortunately that is not the case. But you will see why. And 3, half his team is walled by Skarmory. So, obviously the first mon we are bringing is our Dynablade, Skarmory. Roost, Defog, Brave Bird, and Taunt. Now, typically you'd probably expect to see spikes on there. And I wanted spikes. I originally had spikes on this. But I can't. I need Brave Bird for offensive threat to be able to two-shot the Mega Pincer, two-shot a no HP Celebi to almost Oko the Sock to just do damage to the Mismagius, etc., etc. I need to have an offensive move. That's one. I had a league match the other day where I faced a Skarmory and it had no offensive moves, and I had a Taunt Aerodactyl and I completely shut it down. I need Defog, because those screens that Aurora Veil is an issue. I cannot let him have screens whatsoever. I need Taunt, because if he is the Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Leech Seed, whatever, Comfey, I need to taunt that and stop it. And just beat it down with stuff like Brave Bird. If I taunt it and it doesn't Leech Seed me first, even if it does Leech Seed me first, I'm pretty sure I'd beat this 1v1. Well, I don't beat it 1v1, but I can at least stop it from Calm Minding, and I can go into something else that can beat it 1v1. Rotom Heat. Wait, what am I doing? Oh my god. Roost is just to stay healthy. I have leftovers. I wanted Rocky Helmet for stuff like the Landorus to punish that as it's going for U-turn. And I'm still considering that. But leftovers, I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that this Skarmory can stay healthy. I have Roost on this, I have Healing Wish on Mesprit, and I have two Wishmons to keep this thing as bulky and healthy as possible, because it shuts his team down. I have 16 speed EVs just to avoid being speed prepped by stuff like the Alomomola. I can afford 16 EVs there, because I don't need 252 in defense to wall the Landorus, to wall the Mega Pinsir. I can still wall it with just 188. I have 56 Spadef EVs, and what this does is it stops a max special attack Celebi and Landorus Therian from two-shotting me with Hidden Power Fire. Or Electric. Whatever. It also does nothing. I believe it stops an Oko from Blizzard from a Life Orb Ninetales, but I'm not worried about that. I have a counter to Alola Ninetales. This stops everything. If he is anything but a Bandit or a Fightinium Z Sock, I wall it. 100% wall. If he Scarf his Life Orb, I wall it. Brave Bird destroys him. Alomomola cannot Toxic me. He can only Skull Burn me. But I won't be using this for Alomomola anyway, but in case I do. I can tank a hit from his Magus. I can wall Landorus Therian. I can wall Mega Pinsir. Depending on a Celebi set, I can wall that unless it's like a nasty plot, in which case, out. I take on so much of his team. I taunt the Comfey, which is kind of why I wanted, I almost ran a whole lot of speed, but that I can't afford. I cannot afford all that speed. I do need that for Mega Pinsir. I do need some defense. Skarmory just beats down his team, so I knew I had to bring it. I knew this was the best set I could bring. If for some reason he's able to take this down, I am very frightened of stuff like the Mega Pinsir and the Landorus Therian. But I do have soft checks to them, which hopefully will work. Knew that was coming. Okay, so next we have our Mesprit. This is one mon I'm really expecting just to lure in that Porygon 2. If I get rid of that Porygon 2's dam of Eviolite, I destroy him. I have a Life Orb Mesprit with Signal Beam, Psyshock, Knockoff, and Healing Wish. Once again, I said Healing Wish to keep the Skarmory healthy. If I need to bring back my Sylveon, I can do that. If I need to bring back my Dugtrio, I can do that. Healing Wish is so good this game. And Mesprit's Natural Bulk will let me live a return from Mega Pinsir if I absolutely have to, but I'm not using this as a soft check unless the thing is at 20% or something. Signal Beam will Oko the Celebi unless he is Tangaberry, I believe. I don't know why I know all the berries, but I do know all the berries. Tanga is Bug, Colbur is Dark, Aka, Pasho, Shuka, the rock one is Charty, right? Yeah, Charty, Shalon is normal. I know them all for some reason. Roselli is Fairy. Haban is Dragon, I believe. Moving on. I have enough speed to outspeed base 100s with a little bit of speed in them, so I can Psyshock them. This puts a hurtin on that Comfey. That Comfey does not want to take a Life Orb Psyshock unless it's a max defense. Knockoff, again, this is walled by Porygon 2. Like, a Life Orb Psyshock will do nothing to a Porygon 2. And that's why I expect him to use it to switch into this. And get knocked off. And then he loses his EVLA, and then he cannot use it to switch into my Sylveon. Which I'm still having doubts about. I'm considering changing my Sylveon sprite, but the set I have I think is really good. Healing Wish, I've already explained. Signal Beam. Signal Beam is the best move I could have, as it, like I said, it does destroy that Celebi. And that's all it really does. Like everything else, he does not have a Psychic Resist. Which is a big crutch to his team. Moving on. That's Mesprit. I thought about Psychic Z Psyshock just to blow stuff away, but I really like having the Life Orb power. We have our Sylveon with Pixie Plate, Hyper Voice, Psyshock, Substitute, and Wish. Substitute is a really good scouting mechanism. Like, say I'm in against a Choice Scarf Sock locked into close combat. I go for Sub. Now, what this does is it gives me a free Hyper Voice. It lets me scout the damage. It lets me scout whether I'm faster or not than his initial switch-ins, which would be Rotom Heat, Garbodor, and Porygon 2. It'll let me see if I'm faster than those. It'll let me see how much damage I'm doing, how much Psyshock's going to do, how much Hyper Voice is going to do. And if I think he's going to go for a Wish on Alomomola, that's another free sub. I do sub up on Alomomola 100%, which is really nice. If Rotom Heat starts getting beat down, or starts using Overheat, I can sub up on that. I really think sub is going to be very nice, especially once Porygon 2 loses EVLA, because that's the only spec Sylveon counter he has that can tank Hyper Voices and heal up. Rotom Heat cannot heal up, especially when I'm behind. I don't believe Pain Split works behind the sub. It might. Let me. Hold on. Open link in no. There. We're gonna do that. Okay, hold on. Pain Split. It does affect me if I'm behind a substitute. But if I'm subbing up, then I'm losing HP, and he's not going to be able to get as much back, especially since I don't have a lot of HP investment. Hyper Voice is going to do a decent amount. If it's Spadef Rotom, then Psyshock will do a lot as well. Psyshock will do a lot to Garbodor. Psyshock does a lot to Mismagius, although Hyper Voice destroys that because it has no HP. If he's a Spadef Celebi, that can also tank hits, but I don't believe... If he's Spadef, like I said, that's so better to handle, and I do have ways to get rid of a lot of his threats with that trio. Wish, again, just in case if I sub and I Wish... I can Wish up... I can get my health back, or I can pass Wish to something else. I can use that as a way to heal up versus the Alomomola, as a way to heal up against a weakened Rotom, as a way to heal up against a Spadef Celebi, which does not do anything to me. Except for Psyshock. And I have Pixie Plate just as my boosting item. I don't want a Life Orb, I don't want an Expert Belt. I want Hyper Voice to just be strong no matter what. Because Expert Belt is not going to do anything for me. So Pixie Plate was the best because I don't want Life Orb recoil constantly, and I don't want Specs because I have a substitute. Moving on, I'm really tired. I think he messaged me and said he's ready to battle, but he can wait till I'm finished with my team. We have an Alolan Marowak. This is how I know the Ghost will resist Berry. Just kidding, I already knew. When I was putting it in, I'm like, what is it? I think it's Cassine. So we have a mixed defensive Rotom. This is a good answer to Celebi. Shadow Bone does a lot of damage to him if he's, no matter what, unless he's max defense, in which case, whoops. I still have ways to handle Celebi though. If he's Choice Scarf, that might be an issue, but other than that. This is another mon that lures in the Porygon 2 because he does wall me unless I'm Swords Dance. I can lure it in with a Shadow Bone, I can knock off that Eviolite, and I can Toxic it. Stealth Rock because I needed a Hazard Setter because Skarmory cannot fit spikes. I have 16 defense and inhibition nature, so I can tank on +2 side shocks from the Celebi, and then I put the rest in Spadef. 16 specifically is not to tank on that hit, but it's a jump point, so I get 2 points of Spadef instead of the typical 1 when I put 4 into it, so maximizing my EVs, and the rest is to go into Spadef. I can tank hits from the Alolan Ninetales, I can tank hits from my Celebi, except for Shadow Ball. I do expect him to bring Shadow Ball, by the way. I don't expect him to bring Earth Power because I do have the Mesprit, which could also tank hits, so definitely expect to see Shadow Ball. Yawning. The more I think about it, the more actually I don't want Toxic, I want Will-O-Wisp. Do I have another Toxic Pokemon? I do. I have Vaporeon. The question is, do I want Will-O-Wisp? Because that cripples a Landorus. No, I like Toxic. Do I like Toxic? No, because I want Toxic because I can Toxic the Rotom Heat as well. So, I tank hits from Rotom Heat, I tank hits from Comfey, and I can Toxic that. And if it does not have Aromatherapy, God bless. Either is going to be running a Leech Seed or Aromatherapy, and if he's running Aromatherapy, then he does not have Leech Seed, and the Skarmory just shuts it down. And is a giant nuisance to it. If he's running Leech Seed, then I can Toxic it with 2 different Mons and just wear it down. Moving on. Shadow Bone is my best move as it hits Celebi as hard as possible. He has no Ghost Resist outside of the Porygon 2. And I don't want the Flare Blitz recoil. It feels so weird not being able to run that Thick Club and have just like a lot of power, but I can't afford it and it makes me mad. Moving on. Lightning Rod. What else do I take hits from? Yeah, I take hits from basically everything except, I mean, he can run an Earthquake Garbodor, but other than that, like, I will that too. So we have a Vaporeon. This is here for the Mismagius. This is here for the Alolan Ninetales, because Alolan Ninetales Freeze Dry does not do anything unless he's like Specs or Freeze Dry, and then he's not the other thing. Then he's not the Screens. If he is, then he's easy to handle. I can take hits from Celebi if he's not if he's not invested and he's not boosting. Our booster does not have Nasty Pods, does not have Swords Dance or whatever. I can take Giga Drains, I can Toxic it. Although I don't plan on staying in the first place. I do know that Celebi is going to be switching into this a lot, and I wanted Baton Pass, but again, could not afford it. Wanted Protect so I could stay healthy. Actually, do I need Protect? Baton Pass would be really nice to just trap that Celebi. So I'm not running Volt Turn this match. So how would I trap the Celebi without... No. I'd rather be Scalding that Celebi just because I can check the damage, right? I can check to see if it's offensive for a Choice Scarf. Anyway, this is to take hits from Alolan Ninetales, Celebi, Mismagius, basically. And it's Special Landorus Therian, of course, which I can expect to come. And then I just have some defensive EVs. It's better take an Earthquake from Landorus. Better take... I 100% take a return from Mega Pinsir. One. And can Scald it or Toxic it. Anyway, moving on. Leftovers, just general Vaporeon-ness. So we have this, which is something I'm really excited for. So, let's talk about this Doug Trio for a second. Because this Doug Trio is going to beat down his team. And this is how. I actually want to calc Doug Trio versus Ninetales. Because I didn't calc this. I want to see how well I can trap that Doug Trio if he's not... Well, I can do 60% to it if he's no HP. So that's good. So, why this Doug Trio? Because if he... It traps a lot of stuff. It traps the... If he's a weakened Stalk, I can trap that and Earthquake it and destroy it if he's like Banded or Fight Titanium or whatever. I trap the Garbodor and I destroy it with an Earthquake. And I can trap a big nuisance to my team, the Celebi. I trap that Celebi. And Natural Gift Enigma Berry is Bug. And after just the tiniest chip damage on an offensive set, I destroy it. Oko. Clean Oko. Which is really cool. I have Earthquake, again, just general stab. I mean, why wouldn't you run Earthquake? I have Memento, in case I need this thing to go down. I can Memento something and go out to something like my Sylveon and use that to get up a sub. And I have Rock Slide, and this is what will help explain the EVs. Obviously, the speed is to outspeed as fast as Bond, the Alolan Ninetales, by 1 point. And the HP. Now, you're wondering why I'm not running max attack, and that's because I wanted 120 HPs. EVs. What this does is it lets me switch into Rocks 2 times and still take an Adamant Quick Attack from a Mega Pinsir. And then Rock Slide it and do a crap ton of damage. If he's Jolly Pinsir, which I mean I expect him to bring because I do have a Hydreigon, I can take 3 Rocks and then a Quick Attack. And that is very good because that gives me a very soft check to Mega Pinsir should Skarmory go down for any reason. Unless he sets up a Swords Dance, in which case, bye. Bye. That Mega Pinsir is so scary. I mean, I do have a full-on stop to it, but, like, I have to be careful with Skarmory. I have to be very, very careful. I cannot let Sock fight all-out pummeling me. I cannot let Landorus set up a couple Calm Minds and blow me away with an HP Fire. I cannot let Ninetales Life Orb Blizzard me. I have to be careful. I have to keep it healthy to stop that Mega Pinsir. So with that, what do I expect him to bring? Porygon 2 is the #1 thing I expect him to bring. 100%. It walls half my team. If it's not for that, he gets destroyed by Hydreigon. He gets... I mean, he has Comfy. He gets destroyed by Swellow. He gets destroyed by Sylveon. My offensive threats tear through him. By the way, if he loses a Violite, Dugtrio does a lot to him with Earthquake. I think it does like 40%. I didn't count that. I'm just off the top of my head. I can expect Mega Pinsir to come. Definitely. Definitely. I mean, it destroys everything that's not named Skarmory. I expect Celebi to come. I expect Rotom Heat to come. And the last 2 Mons are up in the air. I mean, I can see... I can kind of see Garbodor over Rotom Heat. I don't really see Alomomola coming. It can. I mean, everything on his team actually can come. But, like, Alomomola is probably the least likely. Miss Magis is probably down there as well. But if I had to say what 6 he would bring, I would bring... If I were him, I would bring Sock, Mega Pinsir, Porygon 2, Celebi... Comfey, definitely. And Alolan Ninetales or Landorus. But with that, it's been almost 30 minutes. Wow, that's probably one of the longest team builders I've done in a while. So with that, that is our squad. That is what we are bringing. That's why I hope to beat him with. I have Dynablade, Mesprit, Sylveon, Marowak, Vaporeon, and Dugtrio. 3-1 is our record. Hopefully we can go 4-1. Hopefully our streak of losing is just gone. I've won 2 matches in the MLP. I've won 3 matches here. We're back on a tear. New York Metagross are here. The New York Metagross are now. The New York Metagross will make it to the playoffs and win this. But first we have to get past Mistmaster. Battle goes up tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoy your day.